everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXP, and today I have Andreas Soltermann, who's the co-founder of Grizzly. And I really urge you guys to go and listen to this episode because I would say he's one of the OGs of the Bitcoin space as well. Because what I learned from this interview was that he has this experience in Bitcoin going back to 2013. He just played around a little bit with the Bitcoin mining, and then he got back into cryptocurrencies in 2017. And what I really liked about this episode is he talked about the roadmap of the launch that is going to be happening in the next couple of weeks and the importance of community and how important it is for the community to grow. And he also shared his experience talking with regulators, the crypto valley, and different startups. His challenges with the audits that they have taken, they had quite a lot of different number of audits. So please pay attention to what he's saying. And what I really liked about in this episode is he mentioned about the hiring process. What is it that they tend to look at? And one thing which stood out for me is that he's looking at people who genuinely care about the product and have good coding experience as well. So please check out these episodes. And in the show notes below, you'll also get information about the website, the Twitter handle, the Instagram handle. If you guys do have any feedback, questions, or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com or mention it in the comments below as well. So let's start with the episode. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXP, and firstly, thank you, Andreas. Really appreciate your talking to me and taking your time and sharing your information about, Grizzly. So, can you tell our listeners about yourself and how did you get involved in cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, and DeFi?
Awesome. Hey, thank you very much for having me. Really excited. I already went through some of your questions and I have to say you did great research. You have great questions. So yeah, I'm excited. Regarding my introduction to crypto, actually, the first touch point I had with crypto was in 2000 and probably 13 or 14. I was just Googling how can I make money online and I stumbled across mining. So I started mining Bitcoins with my shitty little laptop in 2013. Obviously, I didn't really make a lot of money with that. And unfortunately, I kind of forgot about it. I learned to set up a node and the miner, I configured my laptop so it can be used as a miner. So quite funny actually. But then I kind of lost it. And then in 2016, kind of got a little more interest. I heard about it again. Bitcoin was like trending again, was like 1,000. And then in 2017, early 2017, a good friend of mine started balling. He had a lot of money suddenly, and I was like, man, what did you do? And he was like, yeah, altcoins, Bitcoin, and I was like, all right, interesting. So I invested some. I bought half a Bitcoin with everything that I had. Basically, I had $1,000 on my name. I invested that, doubled my money quite quickly, and then the story went on. That's how my journey got started.
Yeah, and it is during 2017 when the whole ICO craze and everything happened at that point of time, right?
Exactly. So I got started in like April of 2017, and then in autumn the craziness really began. So it was insane.
And that was the time when people were raising millions of dollars just by writing a white paper. And
exactly. Yeah, unfortunately, these times are like gone. I mean, it's not as easy to raise money nowadays. But it was a fun experience. It taught me a lot about where to invest, what is hype and what's like fundamental investing. So it was actually quite a nice time, even though I lost a bunch of money when the whole bubble burst.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we say, when you talk about the hype. And one thing which I tell Andreas is for everyone is so far as the price prediction is concerned, all the crypto price predictions are 100% right, 50% of the time. So it's a mixture of fundamentals and technical analysis, and you still get it wrong. So next question that I'd like to ask you, Andreas, is can you tell our listeners what is Grizzly.Fi and how is it that people can actually benefit from it?
Sure. So Grizzly.Fi is actually a liquidity aggregator. So we're a DeFi platform trying to make DeFi easier for more people. So that's our goal. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So we are basically a platform on top of other platforms. We make them easier and more profitable through auto compounding and like easy investment processes. And also the most important thing would be unified investment processes. So every single platform has their own kind of way to invest, their own steps, their own like layout, their own UI, and we combine everything under one basket kind of, and make it accessible for people. We also do a lot of education, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and what I really liked, in the inauguration email that I received, I think it was from the CEO, it mentioned that, you guys focus on the user experience, on, how it is extremely easier. Can you share some light in terms of, from a user experience point of view? How does it work? Let's say if I'm an individual who doesn't know anything about your product, how does a user actually go and start doing that?
So most of the time, let's take Convex as an example. Convex right now is the hottest DeFi platform out there. I love it. I'm a big user myself. I think it's great, but for me it's quite easy to use it because I'm used to like all of these different steps and so on. I'm familiar with all these platforms. But if you're not really into DeFi, if you don't really know what DeFi is, what it includes, then you're pretty frustrated because you have to watch different tutorials. You have to, for example, in Convex, you have to select a pool. You have no idea which pool you should go into. Then you have to switch the platform. You have to go to Curve, invest there, go back.
Exactly.
Deposit your LP tokens. What are LP tokens? All of this kind of stuff. So with Grizzly.Fi, what you can do is you can just select a pool. This we cannot do for you. You have to select where you want to invest. Although maybe in the future we'll do some kind of basket. This would be quite cool for like really beginners. You can select the pool you want to invest. You select which currency you want to invest, and you just press go and you're in. So that's the big difference. And what's cool here is that the token holders actually benefit a lot from us getting new users. So the more users we have on the platform using the platform, the more buyback and burning mechanisms and also distribution to stakers we have on the Honey token. So people who believe in like long-term vision, in simplicity, if they believe in the kind of Apple approach, because Apple, through the usage of nice UI and all of that fun stuff, they made the internet the product that it is right now.
That's correct.
So if you believe that simplicity, if you believe that simplicity can bring a lot of value to the DeFi space, and you believe that people will use and invest in DeFi through us, it might be very beneficial for you to hold and stake the token.
Yeah, so the importance is on building the community. So as and when the community grows, the product grows and it's beneficial for the customer as well, right?
Exactly.
Perfect. And it also mentions, that you plan to merge traditional finance with DeFi.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting actually. So when we started developing Grizzly.Fi, we obviously, when you're like very hyped about an idea, you start talking to other people about it, and we are based in Switzerland, so we know great people here, people in the banking sector, in the legal sector, and finance sector in general. And when we were telling them that you have the opportunity to earn 10%, 15%, 20% on stable coins, they were quite surprised actually, and the people were like, "Man, how can I invest in there? I have like funds in my company. I want to invest. I want to use this opportunity." And then we were speaking to people who actually regulate these types of structured financial products, and he had the idea that we should launch an exchange traded product, an ETP. It's like the small brother of the ETF.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. So we also, what's quite funny is we share our office space with an asset manager. They already launched a bunch of these ETPs, also crypto ETPs. And they say that, and we already filled out all the papers, the paperwork is done, and we will be the first Swiss company that will launch a ETP based on decentralized finance or yield farming. So this will be very exciting.
Absolutely, and the potential when you talk about DeFi, it just keeps on going on and on, right?
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, I think it was in the late of early of 2018 when MakerDAO launched. And
Yeah,
we were talking
exactly.
about MakerDAO, and now MakerDAO is considered as a boomer DAO. Because
Yeah,
there's so
yeah.
much of innovation going on. There's so many new things going on.
It's insane. Yeah, it's insane.
Absolutely correct. And what I saw in that email that it is mentioned that you'll also have a partnership with Swiss Crypto Valley and the CV
Exactly.
Lab in Acta. So can you tell our listeners, how did that partnership come about? What was the approaches like? What are the challenges and everything that you guys faced working with them as well?
Yeah, so actually, Switzerland is not a big country. We have
Yeah,
like 8 million people living here.
yeah,
So everyone knows each other kind of. And I was always or in Switzerland, the crypto people especially, they're like, yeah, Crypto Valley, we're like the country with the most crypto companies. I think now the UAE actually overtook us, actually.
yeah.
But we were like very in the beginning as mostly like it's 2017, 2016. A lot of big crypto projects or crypto companies came to Switzerland. A lot of exchanges, a lot of big projects like Cardano,
Yeah,
Ethereum, Polkadot. All of these guys, they're working here from Switzerland, from Zug,
yeah,
and our CTO has already worked with the Crypto Valley Association, the Crypto Valley Venture Fund, and the CV Labs in the past, and we had quite good connection to them. So when we started working on Grizzly.Fi, it was a no-brainer to work with them. So we have our company registered there. They are key supporters of us. They helped us with tokenomics. They helped us with a lot of security related stuff. They also did a seed investment as well. So we're very close with them, closely working with them, and
mhm.
yeah, that's how this came all about.
That is absolutely been. And I do remember, when Facebook they tried to launch a stablecoin project called Libra,
Hmm.
and they
Yeah,
tried to register it with Switzerland as well. So I'm not
yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Yeah, because there were a lot of regulatory hurdles back in the US, and they found out that Switzerland is, much more supportive in the sense of our regulations and everything is concerned.
You even have like a few regions and villages, and also whole states where you can pay your taxes in Bitcoin. It's quite funny.
Which is absolutely brilliant. Now, I'm not sure if I would be willing to pay my Bitcoin, for taxation purposes because, the whole hodl culture is definitely there.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. And now, from, a startup point of view and from a DeFi point of view, what were
Hmm.
some of the challenges, let's say you as a co-founder and the CEO faced when you were initially starting this project?
So initially it was, I guess it was initially a problem, and I mean throughout until up until like 3-4 months ago, we had, I think the biggest issue that we had, or the biggest problem that we had to solve was talent, so hiring good people. That was the biggest thing. So in the beginning, we were struggling a bit with finding good devs, and we had devs, was fine. We struggled again with growing in terms of employees and developers, all of that. And about 3-4 months ago, we really decided to make it a big goal to grow and hire more people. And when we put a lot of focus on that, actually we hired 6 new developers in 1 month as a small startup. That's really 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 impressive. So this was very very cool, and we are still hiring people, still growing the team. We understood that the biggest asset that you have as a crypto project is your tech. So the knowledge that you have, because especially in DeFi, a space which is revolutionizing, like by the minute, you feel like, everywhere there's a new DAO, new DEX, new this, new that every day. So you always have to be on top of your game, and
Yeah.
having great developers who really care about the project and not just work there because they're hired, that's really beneficial and really valuable.
That's absolutely correct. The point that you said that they really care about the project and
Yeah.
not just there for the money, and that you can literally tell, because someone who really wants to work, you can literally see in the output. And what
Yeah.
I'm doing is, Andreas, on the second or the third week of this month, I'm also having
Mm-hmm.
a series with some of the top recruiters in Dubai. So what
Oh,
was the good?
nice.
Yeah, they want to share their experience. What are the challenges they are facing from the companies such as yourself, as well as from the interviewees. So it'd be really interesting to get their idea as well, because a lot of recruitment is actually taking place so far as coding is concerned, blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies
Mm-hmm.
is concerned. Yeah. And are there any failed examples that you'd like to share that maybe you guys as a team or in DeFi you tried to work upon, but it didn't go your way? And were there any learning experiences from that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, one of the biggest issue that we had was that we had to postpone the launch by quite a margin. So we initially wanted to launch 8 months ago, and we really underestimated what it takes to integrate the smart contract testing, all of that kind of stuff. We also learned a lot about auditing. So we did a audit with a big company. I will not disclose the name, but
Okay.
we were not really happy with the audit actually, and then we were like, okay, nice. So we learned that a lot of audit companies are just here for like the stamp, just
Exactly.
yeah, we're audited by these guys, but it's not really, they didn't really check the code in the extent that we would have liked. So we learned a lot in that regard. What is like a good audit? What's not? We learned a lot about hiring. So quite funny that you were talking to recruiters. We also our growth hacking team, our marketing team, they're also in the recruitment business, but in the medical space. And we started a recruitment company as well, like 2-3 months ago, and are now recruiting developers to projects themselves.
Oh, excellent.
So yeah, it's quite funny actually. Yeah, we learned that it's really the most important thing is that you have a good connection to your developers, that you are on top of your game. It's not, because most of the projects, or I've seen a lot of projects work like this. So they hire a contractor, like some guy texts them on LinkedIn saying, "Yeah, I have developers here and there," and then you're like, "Yeah, nice." You make a deal. For example, you pay them 100K, and then they say, "Yeah, in 2 months it's done." Instead of having a call with the developers themselves and having the control, they wait 1.5 months, and then they get back to the team and are like, "Yeah, okay, so where is it?" And then it might not be how they expected. Maybe they're not even like. Sometimes I've heard stories that people didn't even start. So
Correct.
crazy stories. So I really appreciate, or I really encourage everyone to take control over the development process. It's I mean, if you're not a really technical person, it's very boring, and it's like very like looking at
Yeah.
code. You start to get tired and stuff, but it's really worth it. You start learning so much about the whole technology, and in the end, you're selling technology, you're building technology, and you have to understand the
Yeah.
technology that you're building.
That's absolutely correct. And as a matter of fact, earlier today I was reading an article about a
Mm-hmm.
guy, who was using a fake profile, and he actually got a job in one of the crypto projects. And the owner of the project wanted to actually see him like on Zoom, and he was not willing to do a video call because the profile is completely different, whereas the actual person was completely different. And it's funny that
Yeah.
that person actually even ended up getting the job. So really, I'm not sure how these crypto projects work. And something which happened earlier today, or rather yesterday, was about the hack and nomad. So
Yeah, I've seen it. Yes.
it's so critical to have the right audit team. And something that you mentioned that you worked with the previous audit team that you were not content with, but the current one is something that you're absolutely content about. So
Yeah, I
that's
mean, we've done 5 audits actually. We've done 5 of them, so they weren't really cheap. So we have one. We made one, then we went back to the drawing board. We did 3 more, and then just recently, because we did like small minor updates, we did another audit. So yeah, it's quite nice. We really appreciate, or we really focus a lot on security, since we're like a docs team, so people know who we are and so on, and we have like more to lose than just a project. We have our name that we can lose, so we actually care a lot about the right security. We also have great advisors in our team. For example, Christian Killer, he's doing his PhD in cybersecurity with focus on blockchain at the University of Zurich. We have Professor Dr. Thomas Bocek, who is like one of the lead developers of Thorchain, for example. He took over after their recent hack, so he's like the guy you call when shit's going down. When you have issues, you call him, and he's very famous here in Switzerland, like lecturing. He's a professor, and as I said, big developer. He goes to all the hackathons. He wins them most of the time. So cool guy. Also working on the team. He actually was one of the 3 audits that we have done. So yeah, that's it's very important to have proper security.
That's absolutely great. And now, Andreas, can you tell our listeners, what are your expectations when, the Grizzly or DeFi project launches from your point of view? What is it that you expect things to work out, and how do you envision things to work out to play?
Got you. So that's quite interesting. So first of all, tomorrow, or I don't know when this is going to air, but it's the 4th of August, we are going to start our community sale. So the community can get in and buy tokens. It will be a very unique way of launching, actually, because we will have like a liquidity pool or like a launch pool. People can invest into the pool, and this pool will be open for 3 days. After the 3 days, it closes, and the pool then goes to the DEX and buys on the DEX. So we have a huge pump. We will trend on all the different listing pages like CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, all of them. And people will get their tokens vested over 30 days. So after 30 days, everyone has their tokens. They make a nice gain. It's capped at 3x, so everyone will make a maximum of 3x. And this will be the first stage. After that, we're going to release our platform on the 8th of August. So the liquidity aggregator on Binance Smart Chain. Shortly after that, we're going to release our Ethereum version. So we're going cross-chain quite fast.
Okay.
And we will aggregate Convex. Then we will launch our stablecoin also shortly after. It's already in audit as well, this stablecoin. It will be pegged to the Swiss franc, so this will be very unique.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last point on our roadmap right now is to offer leverage on yield farming. So we want to offer leverage on convex liquidity mining, and our goal is to be similar to Oasis. So Oasis is working with MakerDAO, and they offer like 50x leverage on Uniswap liquidity pools, which contain DAI. And it's not really profitable anymore to just go directly through Uniswap. You have to go through Oasis, because without the leverage, it's not worth it to farm. And we want to be the same with Convex. So we want to bring a lot of liquidity into the space to leverage. We want to offer the easiest and most efficient way to invest into different yield farming applications. So our goal is to become the hub of liquidity mining and really take over with this leverage function. So this would be insane. There would be a lot of volume generated, a lot of TVL generated, which results in a lot of honey token buybacks, a lot of honey tokens distributed back to the stakers. So we don't have to mint new tokens anymore. We can just buy them back and redistribute them, basically. So this will be very exciting. After that, we're going to open up the gates for traditional finance investors, which is also very exciting. So we really aim to focus a lot on the DeFi space, make existing protocols easier, more profitable, and this leverage functionality will be a key feature of Grizzly.Fi in the future.
Absolutely, and the fact that you focus more on the community, as if when the community grows, you get new users on board as well, right?
Exactly.
And I really like that you talked about the Swiss franc stable coin. Do you have any tentative date as to when you guys plan to launch that?
Yeah, I mean, from experience, we're not that good with dates, so we just say it will come when it's coming. So we're not going to disclose any dates. What I can say is that we're auditing it currently, so the smart contract is done. Front end is also done. We need to integrate it now and audit it. So we hope to not have to let the community wait for too much time, but I will also not disclose any dates, because anything can happen in tech.
Yeah, and I was just going to ask you another question, which is related to dates. That is, when do you guys plan to launch on Ethereum? Again, the dates are definitely going to be tentative as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same answer, I guess. So
Yeah.
we're very far with development, but we learned the last 5% take as much time as the first 95%. So right now everything looks very good. But yeah, so we will announce it when it's done.
That is absolutely brilliant. And do you have any message, let's say, to our listeners to get more information about Grizzly and what are the key highlights of Grizzly if you were to summarize it for our listeners?
Be ready for the roadmap. This will be insane. We have created a lot of content. So if you're interested in what we do, if you believe that DeFi is not going anywhere, if you believe that DeFi is here to stay, and you also believe that through simplicity and better user experience and more education, if you believe that through these points, we can attract more users into the space, get more people involved. If you also think that this is important for the whole world, basically. I mean, we now see problems in China with the financial system. We don't have to start talking about the US, the euro's collapsing. It's like a lot of shit is going on right now. And if you feel like DeFi can be a solution, if we can push now, if you think this is a great opportunity, make sure to check out our YouTube channel. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. Make sure to join the Telegram community. We're very active. So we're 6 co-founders. Everyone is kind of doing content, talking about their main area. For me, it's mostly, as I said, DeFi. So I'm really the guy who is behind all the innovation, behind the vision. So that's my thing, my role, and I'm doing a lot of videos on that. So if you want to learn, if you want to participate in a growing ecosystem, and participate and be one of the first people who join a project as an investor, make sure to check out the community fair launch. It would be exciting.
Yeah, and that was just moving on to my final question, which is, is there any websites or, email address or social media channels that you want to get our listeners aware about?
Yeah, exactly. As I said, so our Twitter, we're very, very active on Twitter. Our Telegram group is awesome. So there you have a lot of people, like heated discussion. We have a Russian Telegram, we have a German Telegram, we have an English Telegram, also Instagram, YouTube, for example. So I'm trying to post 2 to 3 times a week. So there is always new content coming out where I explain about the platform, where I explain about general markets, all of that type of stuff. So yeah, you will not get tired of content. We're definitely producing enough for you.
Perfect. So what I'll do is, in the show notes, what I'll do is I'll mention your website, I'll mention the email address, I'll mention the social media such as the Twitter and email handles as well. And that's
Exactly.
about all. And one final question, which has nothing to do with cryptocurrencies, what I tend to do is I ask all of my interviewees, is there any particular genre of music that you like?
Oh, that's a good one. I really used to like listening to hip hop, but right now for me it has to be more EDM, house, techno, that type of music. I recently went to Tomorrowland in Belgium and I fell in love with the techno music.
Absolutely brilliant. So what I do is, I ask all of my interviewees one question. The reason being, I play drums for, a heavy metal band. So
Really?
so just having a bit of connection with Bitcoin and music always definitely helps. In fact. So,
Got you. Interesting, man. Interesting. Hey, thanks for having me. Thanks for the great questions.
Thank you so very much, Andreas. Really, really appreciate it.